Report, Midwest Muscle Report, live from USA Gym. It's July 3rd, the day after Tim Gardner's Wings of Strength. We are here with Jessica Lynn.
Hi.
Jessica, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Now, Jess, you had a pretty good showing last night. You ended up finishing 4th, I believe, correct?
Yes, yep.
Okay. Now, this is a run of 4 shows for you?
This year, yeah.
Okay, that's a lot of shows. Start with what you started with earlier this year.
So my first show this year was the Arnold Australia in March.
Okay.
And then after that, I did the Kansas Pro Muscle Mayhem.
Okay, how did that go for you?
I got 5th there.
Okay.
And then I did Omaha Pro after that and got 2nd.
Okay.
And then
knocking
4th
on
year.
the door, 4th year. Okay.
Yep.
So you've been piling up the points. With that being said, I'm gonna assume that this is a push and a run for the Olympia.
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal, definitely.
Okay. Will this be the first time you qualify for the O?
Yes.
Okay. So you probably have a couple more shows planned?
I've got some in mind. I haven't decided for sure yet, but
Okay.
I'm thinking about it.
Okay, okay. What's been some of the feedback that you've gotten from the judges, and what do you think you personally want to work on to get yourself to that next level, to where it's not just a run for the O, you know that you feel confident going into the shows, that you can say, hey, I belong at the Olympia. This is the package I'm gonna bring.
Yep, definitely my glutes. You know, we see the top 5 girls at Olympia all have amazing glutes, and that's my #1 goal, is just to bring in that glute ham, you know, raise my glutes a little bit, and just stay tight.
Okay, okay. Well, I don't think the staying tight thing's much of a problem. Yesterday was the first time I personally saw you on stage, and when you come out, you definitely, there's a wow factor there from the front. Your presentation is great. Tan suit, hair, makeup, everything is on point. Great stage presence. It is noticeable when you come out, when you guys do the turns and you come to the back. Like you said, you probably need to bring the glutes up a little bit. That is your division.
Yeah.
This is bodybuilding. We're always evolving. What are some of the things that you try and do to focus on to bring your glutes up to par?
I've been using bands a lot, just
Okay.
to kind of focus on the outer part of my glutes.
Okay.
That's really my main focus. Just anything where I can feel that mind-muscle connection and that
Right.
glute ham, I really try to focus on feeling it, you know, and actually touching it, making sure it's activated, and
Okay,
just
okay,
making sure it's working.
okay. Give us a little bit of a rundown. How long have you been competing? How long have you been training? When did you get your pro card? And what's the journey kind of been like for you, and let everybody else out there know kind of what got you inspired and wanted you to start competing?
So for me, I started doing CrossFit probably 6 years ago.
Okay.
So that's what kind of spiked my desire to lift heavy. You know, I fell in love with that, and I was like, you know, this is great, but, and then I kind of found the competing world, and I was like, that's kind of cool too. I kind of want to do that. So I decided there was a show I wanted to go watch, and then I thought about it some more, and I was like, you know, I'm going to do that show. So I prepared and dieted, and I got 1st and 2nd, you know, novice and open, and that was my first show, so I was hooked.
Okay, okay.
So
Where and when did you get your pro card?
USA's 2013.
Okay.
I think.
So
13 or
USA is a tough show to get your pro card at.
Yeah.
USA's the Nationals. Now granted,
big.
don't get me wrong, getting your pro card is an ultimate goal no matter what show it's at. But USA's and Nationals are known to be probably a little tougher than some of the junior shows.
Yeah.
So you obviously brought a really good physique. What's kind of been the road like since you got your pro card? We talked earlier, it sounds like you've been doing a lot of competing in the last 2 years.
I haven't really taken much of a break since I turned pro. I guess I took a few months off after that, just because at that time I had did 5 shows in 12 weeks.
Wow.
I did Junior Nationals, Team U, and USA's all that year, because, you know, you just got to keep the fight going.
Right.
So after that, as much as I wanted to jump right into pro shows, I couldn't, because my body was tired. So I took a break. My pro debut was Phoenix Europa. I think, yeah, Phoenix Europa that year. Didn't place, you know, just I rushed into it. And then I did the Iowa Pro after that, placed 8th. So that got me a little bit more motivated. And then my next one, I was first call out, so that was promising. And then after that, I've been consistently placing. So.
Okay. Good. There's a couple things you talked about that I'd like to touch on for those of you out there watching. One of the first things that jumped out at me is you said you thought about competing, so you went to a show first. It seems like a lot of athletes, you go to a regional show and they've never gone to a show or seen a show or know what to expect. What kind of advice would you give somebody that you think that maybe wants to do a show or is in the beginning stages? What kind of advice would you give a girl who's looking to get on stage or thinking about it?
I would definitely say do it for you. Like, you know, bring in your best physique. Don't do it for anybody else. Don't do it for a placing. As much as you want that first, second, third spot, like, do it for you. Make yourself happy. Be healthy. But I mean, you know, you want to make yourself, your family, your coaches, everybody proud before worrying about, you know, all the placing and all that.
Right.
So just do it for you and be healthy, mainly.
Okay. But she went to a show, guys, first before she's decided to compete.
Yeah.
And the second thing that I find interesting that seems to be the trend now, and you talk to a lot of competitors and they don't follow this. You did 3 or 4 national shows in a row, chasing it until you finally conquered and achieved your goal.
Yep.
Do you believe that that's the route to go? Is that something you personally did just for you, or?
For me, it was kind of do or die. Like, I was doing well. I wanted to keep my face fresh with the judges, and like physically, I was able to do that. Had I not turned pro at USA's, I don't know if I would have been able to do Miami. It's just a matter of staying healthy, but keeping your goal in mind. So for me, that worked.
Okay. And I know there's quite a few other girls this past weekend, Team U was going on as well, that finally accomplished their goals. So it seems like if you're able to, if your health is there, if economically it's feasible, continue on that journey. Don't be a one and done. Bikini girls don't need to take a lot of huge, long off seasons each year and do 1 or 2 shows. You guys aren't male bodybuilders. It's not a necessity. Do you find yourself staying pretty lean in the off season, or do you, in between your shows, or do you bounce back and forth an awful lot?
I would say after my first couple of shows, you know, I had that typical rebound, which I almost feel like is almost necessary just to like bring you back down to earth. Like, oh no, I'm not invincible. I can't go crazy after my show.
Right.
But after experiencing that, you know, and gaining 15 pounds after my first, you know, when I turned pro, I gained 15 pounds in like a month. And I don't ever want to do that again. So yeah, reverse dieting is very important now.
Okay.
So yeah, I like to stay 5-8 pounds above stage weight.
Okay. So it sounds like we're gonna see her again very soon. Where? We don't know. When? We don't know. But I have a feeling that wherever it is and whenever it is, it's gonna serve you well. And I also have a feeling that we will be seeing you at the Olympia this year. So that's the goal. Glad to have a sit down with you.
Yes,
Congratulations last night. Good luck
so
on the
much.
rest of the year, and we will catch up with you again soon.
Sounds good.
Until next time, Amanda Spalko from Midwest Muscle Report signing off. Take it easy.